To have kids or to sleep in forever? That is the question we're asking today.
Some of us choose motherhood, diapers, chaos, unconditional love. And some of us choose the quiet, disposable income and never having to listen to Baby Shark.
This episode, we're diving into the great debate, motherhood or the road not taken, what we've learned, what we've missed, and why people won't stop asking. But who will take care of you when you're old?
Join us as we laugh, reflect, and settle once and for all. Are you really missing out or are you winning at life?
Either way, we're going to need a nap. This is Two in the Closet. I'm Beth.
I'm Jennifer.
And let's dive in.
Let's do it.
You're the mother, I'm the other.
Yes. Oh, that rhymes.
I know. When did you know you wanted to be a mom?
I knew when my friends were starting to have babies. But they were all like in their mid-20s or late 20s. And I was out here. I was completely doing something completely different. I didn't start really wanting a child until after I got married into my 30s. And then I'm like, wait, I'm getting up there. So
you're getting into geriatric. But
exactly. And I felt a little pressure after you're 37. Maybe you should.
Were you 37?
Yeah, when I had Jillian, yeah.
I did not know that. Mm-hmm. My mom was 37 when she had me.
Really?
Fun fact. Is motherhood what you thought it was going to be, or is it very different?
Motherhood is extremely different than I thought. I thought that it was going to be ice cream cones and rainbows all the time and the kid always liking you, and that is not. I think it's the hardest job I've ever absolutely done. It is not easy for me.
I would agree that it is the hardest job anybody will ever have. And I'm a quiet quitter. Let's be honest.
Quiet quitter.
It's not going to do
you
that.
Just chose a different path.
And I think for me, the other road not taken, I think I had the idea of having kids until I was 25 and it went away. It wasn't strong to begin with. It was more of a societal, you get married, you have kids, pressure. And a mom pressure, big time. My mom definitely was always pushing that agenda for me. So when I got to hit 25, I think I probably decided this is my life. I don't really want them. And I couldn't see myself. I knew I would be a really great mom if I had kids. Like
100%.
I had big visions of making homemade baby food and organic kind of stuff back then. Way back in the days.
You would be like PTA president.
Oh God, I would be the Karen. Yeah. I'm sorry. I would be annoying. I would micromanage every part of my child's life, probably. But I think I'd be a cool mom.
I think you'd be a good mom.
But I never wonder if anymore. I'm very much past that, as I should be at this age.
Well, have you ever faced judgment from family, friends, or even strangers about not having kids?
For sure. First and foremost from my mother. Mother shows up in every one of these episodes. It's undeniable.
Exactly.
That was her goal. And I mentioned in another episode that even though my brother married almost straight out of high school and is 3 years older and is married to this day, they do not have kids. But I was the one she kept asking, when are you going to get married and have kids? And that was, maybe it turned me the opposite direction because I'm like, I will spite you and not have kids. I don't know. But she definitely started that train out of the station. And definitely when I was in my 20s and 30s, that was a conversation with my girlfriends. Do you want to have kids? I think we were all too crazy and feral to really be planning our life into parenthood for me and my circle.
Right.
So it wasn't a high priority. And then as people got married and dropped out of the group, they went on their path and we stayed in the club.
You stayed in the closet. Never was in 21 going out and then in the back of my mind, can't wait to have kids. I wasn't that
Will
person.
He make a good father?
Right. That wasn't my thinking then. And it wasn't. I never really.
Did you think about it when you met your partner? Did you wonder, when will he be a good dad?
I got a little anxious about it because I was past 35. I don't think you're ever ready no matter really what age you are.
I
I think that's kind of a surprise.
I think that's bullshit for people. I think well, it's not bullshit, but no, you are never ready. You're
Yeah,
never ready for anything that hits you in life,
right.
at least of all kids. But if you wait, I was thinking about this morning. If you waited till everything was right, it would never happen.
I agree.
And I compare that to our little baby that we birthed together, this podcast. If we waited till we knew how to use all the technology,
It
which
would never happen.
it would never happen. If we had the right equipment, I just fucking
Right.
climbed in the closet with an iPhone
Right.
to begin with and just did it. So waiting till the circumstances are right ends up with nothing.
Do I think it's sometimes the circumstances are better? Yes,
For sure.
I do.
For sure.
But I don't know if there's a specific right time.
No, but it sounds like you did it in the right order. Some people accept right order. There's no right order.
I'm glad I waited when I did, but
Do you wish you had been, if life worked out differently, would you have preferred to have a child earlier? Take away what your reality was. But if you could do it earlier,
no, negative.
Okay.
Because I really enjoyed my time. Again, it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait to be pregnant. And it did, but it wasn't like I was obsessed about it. It wasn't a constant thought. So I'm glad I waited when I did.
What are some things? Let me think about it. How do I want to word this? What's something that your mother did that you swore you would never do?
Be a nag a little bit. Jillian will wear something, and I'm pretty laid back. I am laid back, as you know. But some things these kids wear today are not appropriate, but I'm not going to go there.
My mother would have shoved me back in her womb.
Oh, I'm sure. I never dress like the way the kids dress now. It's another subject. Anyway, I would say just nagging and saying, Are you going to wear that? Are you wearing that? I think you shouldn't wear those sweatpants. You should dress up. That was like the biggest annoyance ever about my mother. To this day, she will say,
You're not going out like that, are you?
You're wearing that?
So you don't do that to Jillian.
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, you do.
Oh, sorry. I'm
no,
confused.
that's okay. No, I am. Trust
okay.
me.
It's something I
didn't want, but you do.
I wish I didn't do that because it really could backfire.
What's something people have said to you about the fact that you only have one child?
Oh,
do they nag you for that?
Yes. In fact, to this day, they'll be like, "Oh, you
just the one?"
Yeah. Are you kidding me? One to me is 100.
It's a whole
for me.
It's a circus.
I think it's hard. For me, everyone has their own path, but I think it's rude when people say, "Oh, you only have one? Oh, are you okay? Are you physically okay? Did something happen?"
If you think that's rude, try being a single woman of childbearing age and you don't want kids? Really? Oh, you'll change your mind later. Oh.
I don't think that's cool.
No.
Don't do that.
Don't push your agenda.
One is enough, or none, or 50. I don't know.
Some people are great at parenting and they love it. And honest to God, I have a couple of friends who, when they were having their family, had baby after baby. It was nothing.
Listen,
no pain. Just squat, have the baby, and go back to work. And I'm like, and get their shape back overnight practically.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, that is somebody who was built for having a family. But not everybody. And then I've had friends who had one child that almost killed her. So it wasn't even a discussion to have more than one. But the point is we don't know what's going on.
You don't know if I have a medical condition, or maybe I don't fucking want another one.
It's none of our business.
Right. So yes, I experienced that, and I just say, you have one. I'm so grateful and blessed.
He's a handful.
Yes.
It's enough.
Yes.
So how has becoming a mother changed the way you see your mother?
Definitely, I would say appreciation and respect. Because I know when I was younger, 14 years old, I was very moody. I'm moody now, but I was extremely moody. And I would not throw a tantrum, but go in my room and ignore everyone because I didn't get my way. And I see now how Jillian talks sometimes, and it's like, wow, wait, what, did I talk to my mom like that? Was I that disrespectful?
And the answer was, yes.
God, I hope not. And if I was, I'm so sorry, Mom. So I try to, in my mind, try to really now appreciate my mom and I'm definitely not the way I used to. I still get moody, but
If you could go back to yourself prior to having her and whisper some little nugget in your ear, what would you tell yourself?
wait, that my mom whispered?
No, that you now would tell your younger self.
Oh, to be
I
consistent.
love that for you.
To be consistent. I think I have a pattern of not being consistent, and I've struggled with this. I know you have a lot to say on that matter.
I keep my mouth
Let's
shut.
stick what's on
No, this is
task here.
about you and your younger
No, I
self.
know,
I'm
I
just
know.
have a little sip of my water.
I am not consistent. And I think when you're not consistent with a child, it's like,
Oh
how
God,
could
yeah.
they be consistent? Because so I would say consistent.
And I only have a lot to say about that because I relate to that.
Right.
I
No,
am not consistent and I don't have a kid.
right. So it makes it more, I would say, definitely, I would say,
Yeah.
stick with what you say, walk the
Do what you,
walks. Yes.
yeah. He's watching from a very young age.
Yes, they're watching.
I just have to interject something because I'm following this woman on TikTok that I just discovered.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a 5-month-old precious little girl, and her videos consist of them lying in bed at the end of the day and her telling her 5-month-old about her day. As we are talking, not in baby talk, but she's like, Lauren comes over. We call her Auntie Lauren, right? Well, here's a really interesting story about her. We went to college together and we did not get along. And she goes and this tells this whole story to this little 5-month-old, and she's got a little teething thing of some sort. But she's just laying there next to her, looking up at her mom, and just looks like she's deeply listening.
That's really cool.
And there's all these psychologists that comment on it saying that's how you should talk to your child because they're learning from you, even at those early
So just
ages.
no,
Not
so
talk baby talk. But I just sidebar. I'm fascinated. It's
yeah,
so calming to me to listen to her talk about her day with her child. And then, God dang, if her partner didn't strap that baby in and go for a walk and him do the same thing. You guys are raising such a self-aware
I
child
think that's
that will
amazing.
be emotionally mature. It was just
I love
mind-boggling.
that out.
Back to Jennifer, the mom. It's out there. My cat Colin is very disruptive today.
Very busy.
Despite all the chaos and the exhaustion and the sacrifices, because
Uh-huh.
I know what moms do to sacrifice, what's one thing about being a mom that makes it all worthwhile for you?
Being called mama and say, Mama, could you come here? Or when she opens up and tells me something that I would never think she would tell me. And that makes me,
I love that.
yeah,
Does she call you mama now?
yeah, I'm mama.
Ah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I like that. And obviously when she gives me hugs, which is not a lot,
You and Farb.
but definitely when she says mama and I say what, and she'll go, I don't feel well. Could you get me? Just when she's in a cute mood, it kind of warms my heart.
And you really have to take advantage of those
The moments.
because
Yes.
I can remember my 14th year, and you were talking about being very, what was the word you were? Not depressed, moody.
Yes.
I was moody too, but I think a lot of that was hormonal.
Yeah.
And especially in my case, and I think in your case too, if our moms weren't proactive about talking to us about what was going through, we were also confused.
Right.
And we were feeling strange feelings that we had no perspective for or no understanding of, even cramps. So I think
That's true.
I think those few and far between, I remember being very standoffish from my mom, but at a key moment when I really needed her for a
Yes.
hug or something.
Yes.
And I hope for our moms that they took those moments as special because you do.
You hit it
On the hay?
the nail. I don't know what it is.
The nail on the head?
Yeah. Moments, small moments. You'll take them because, like you said, they're far and few. The moments, the little laying in bed with me, watching TV, I'll take that. That's a big win.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, since you took a road not having a
I
child,
took the lower road.
I'm going to ask you, what is the biggest misconception people have about child-free women? What do you say?
That we're broken.
Really?
Because, again, going through my 20s, 30s, 40s, and not having kids, not being married, what's wrong with you? You get that when you go out on a blind date.
Right.
And the guy will say, why have you never been married? And there's judgment.
Oh, of course. Even when
And
people say they don't judge.
and You used to say that specifically about men. There's
Right.
something like never date a man who's never been married. And I stood by that for a while. Then I thought, what's the difference? I've never been married. So, but I know that people wonder, why didn't you get married?
Right.
Are you gay? Are you binary? Are you whatever that you don't feel? It's judgment. Again, it's bullshit. It's
Right.
none of anybody's business whether you have kids or not, but I definitely have been hit with the assumption that there surely must be something wrong because I
Yeah,
didn't get married and I don't have kids and I don't want kids.
I don't think that's fair. I don't.
Well, it's of course it's not.
But
And I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It never did, but it's out there and you have your little feelings.
exactly. I've always wanted to ask you this, and now I'm going to ask you, are there any moments you feel left out, like holidays, family gatherings?
Yes, that's,
Right.
from Thanksgiving, my
Yes.
birthday to Christmas to New Year's, it's a black hole.
Right.
Not
No.
so much anymore, but because I've really worked on that
Yeah,
for
definitely
years.
better.
Yeah. But I think a big part of that, me going dark, is because I know that uh, if somebody invited me to Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
it would be a pity invite. And because it would be, oh, you're not doing anything. It's when it happens. That's when the conversation starts. Like, everybody's getting ready to leave work in a long weekend. And what are you doing? And nothing. Oh, you're not going anywhere. And then they'll invite me. And so that feels condescending.
Okay.
I don't like it at all. That's
Okay.
why I'll just,
You'll plug
you know,
out.
I do on that, those holidays is very, even through being depressed some of the time, I'm still very into kind of myself on that
That,
particular holiday. But
that's your regrouping time.
yeah, but in general, I do feel somewhat left out because, and some of my friends have big families.
Right.
So everybody's gathering together and, family's dead. So my brother doesn't want anything to do with me. So it's awful. No.
No therapist, but I'm going to ask you this. Do you ever think that they maybe invite you because they really want to have you celebrate with them?
I think if that were really I'm not saying that they have bad intentions, they're
Okay.
coming from a good place.
Okay.
When you do it after somebody says, no, I don't have any plans, that is a different feeling than from them saying, hey, I'm getting a group of people together, or, families all coming, and I would love to have a friend there with me.
Right.
Something like that, and it's the pressure off of all
Okay.
my family. That little scenario, like that different invitation to me.
Okay. So maybe it's the way it's said.
Well, it's the time.
Timing.
Yeah, I'm saying it's like you feel bad for me, and so now you're going to extend an invitation.
Right.
That's a
That
pity
feels
invitation, and that feels awful. I'm just here to tell you, if you do that with people, remember that they might already be a little tender,
right. Little down on that.
and then that just may make them feel even fucking worse.
Yeah.
Speaking from the eye.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
No, it's okay.
I do have always wanted to know this. What about birthday parties, like kid birthday parties? Is that like drag to go to? Okay, is
No,
to her birthday.
no, I like going. I haven't been to a lot.
I'm just curious how that
Um,
I feel with not have bringing,
well, first of all, how old is the kid that we're talking about?
12, 13.
It's like, don't want adults at their party,
Okay.
and they certainly don't want like their mom's friend
Okay.
to their.
you-
It's that kid's party. It should be her friends.
Right, but you would not go because of some sort of like, don't have a kid, I'm not going.
No.
Okay.
Is drinking. I would have said, is there wine? Then yeah, I'll be there.
Or it doesn't matter for
No, but I
you.
just, if I were a 12-year-old and my family were throwing me a party and I was inviting all my 12-year-old friends, like I'd understand their parents coming, but I'm a complete non-family, unless I had a really close relationship with that kid, then
Right,
yeah,
right,
I was like an auntie to that kid for sure. But it doesn't make sense for me to go to a 12-year-old's birthday party.
Okay. I just wanted to know if it was something
It doesn't
because, you know,
bother me.
Okay.
There's nothing about that. Staying home, that's a win.
What do you say is the most annoying thing people say when you find out you don't have any kids?
Well, I think we already talked
Oh,
about
did
that.
we? Okay.
Well, yeah, there's some, kind of like the same as you only having one child.
Right.
Is
Why
there
do you
something
just
wrong with
okay.
you?
Yeah, we did. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
Do you ever wonder what your life would be
Mhm.
if you did have a child?
Mhm.
And what do you think it would be like?
When I wonder that, when I see a family of 6 going to Disneyland, and I think, how the fuck do they afford that?
I know.
And I think about my grocery bill, and I think about my kid would have starved to death. I wasn't the most fiscally responsible for a lot of my life. So maybe that would have forced me into it. And of course, is interesting as you're asking me this, there's no man what I'm visualizing. There's no husband. It's very weird. That just dawned on me.
Oh, wow.
It's always when every question you've asked, I picture me with a child by myself.
That's interesting.
It is very
Never
not in
attached
a
to
marriage, not with a guy.
So,
That is so weird.
well, that's wasn't what you wanted.
That's not the point, Jen. The point is that's how I was visualizing it the whole time. Like it's a time when I wanted to be married. So
Right,
yeah.
right.
I
Well,
think about what my life would have been like. I look at it as like it would have been a really big struggle. And life was hard enough for me by myself with everything that I had at my disposal.
Right,
So
right.
I'm like another life and mouth into that. I think it would have been a disaster.
Yeah, yeah.
Who I am and how I got here. Again, having a kid could have, everything around. And if I was married and I had a guy with, good income too, definitely that would be a different story.
Right.
But I think if I sometimes think about having like a daughter your daughter's age and all the things I would want to tell her, life, about growing up, about love, like
Yeah.
those, that's not a regret. It's just what I would have done.
Yeah.
Would have had open lines of communication, and that would have been cool to witness and be
Right.
part of
Right.
because I did not have that
Right.
from my mom. So yeah, and that I it is like it would be
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah. That's definitely challenging, I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. All ice cream and rainbows.
No. That's why I have cats, even one that's playing with a twisty that
And it's a
keeps
kitten, so it's like a baby.
yeah, and he keeps throwing it in here. We throw it back out. So if you see my hands flailing around, it's because I'm trying to get our engineer out of the studio.
Right. Our closet studio.
Yeah. And final thoughts on being a mother?
Mother. Would say, what would you tell someone if they weren't sure if they wanted kids? I think that's a
Well, I couldn't tell them to do or not do. I
but
would,
what if they came for
yeah,
advice and
I
what
would
to do?
say I would ask them to spend time in contemplation. Honest to God, this might sound silly, but nobody's going to be able to tell you or give you the information that you need personally for your life to decide to have a child or not because their experience. Yours is not going to be anything like it. Even
It's
if
true.
your income, your relationship status, if everything was identical, it would be a different experience because you're different humans. So nobody can give that information. I would definitely say go within, like used to listening to your intuition so you can understand it when it points you in that direction.
Yeah.
But don't do it out of pressure
Right.
because of your age, because of your marital status or non whatever it is. Like do it because if
I
there's a following it, you're covering up for something
right.
else. I'll say it. You're trying to fill a hole
Right.
in your soul
Right.
that you think having a child will do.
Right.
That is my opinion, but that there's something bigger happening inside of you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I would tell someone, really make sure that if they are in a partnership, that they discuss, you know,
Yeah.
want a child and how they want to raise the child.
Oh God,
I think
that's
that's really
important.
important. I think it's important to really be on the same page. Whether you're with someone or not and you want to have a child, I really think make sure that your life is solid or as it could be,
Mm-hmm.
and that you're emotionally and
Yeah. Funny because again, when I was thinking about and saying what I just said, I was thinking I was talking to a single woman trying to decide whether or not to have a baby. It's so weird
that is
because
weird.
I am not thinking about married life at all. And yours, from what I just heard you say, your
Interesting.
partner. That's the beauty of perspective. You're a married woman, so
Right.
your automatic
Right.
is in a
Interesting.
marriage, and mine is automatically
That's
as a
interesting.
single woman.
That's really interesting. That's
My
interesting.
mind just
Yeah, that's really cool. But nowadays, you don't need to be in any.
no.
But that's really interesting because
Yeah.
I see it through with someone. You see it.
Yeah.
It's really, yeah,
And we
that's
have a friend who decided very late in life that if she wasn't married, she was going to do IVF, and she did. She's got a wonderful young man.
mhm.
That was something she always knew, right?
Right.
She didn't have that inner conflict. It was just if there wasn't a guy, no big
She
deal.
was going to do it
Yeah.
anyways.
The parenthood part was always a certainty for her.
Right. But I think that if you're not certain,
Yeah.
you're
need to-
young.
For eggs, free if you can. I know that's probably really expensive, but if you have the ability to do that, if you're not sure, but you're getting past viable
Right.
fertility, then do that.
I say don't do it because of pressures.
No, that's
My
why.
mom
Yeah.
always used to pressure me. When are you going to get married? When are you going to have a baby? Well, you might not be able to do because you're getting up there.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure. And I think
Yeah.
when there's a lot of pressure, it kind of
Make a decision that's not for your
yeah,
highest good.
exactly. So whether to have kids or not, that's
It's up to you.
right. Good luck. No,
That was
kind of sorry. I love my child. It's just, sometimes.
yes. And I love my cats. So there is no right or wrong way to live your life the way that makes you happy. And if it's got kids in it,
Great.
take care of them. Communicate, keep the
Exactly.
lines open.
Exactly.
And if you don't have them, come to the club with me. I am just kidding. I go to bed at 7. But anyway, that's going to be it for today. I think
we're covered.
Yeah. Beth,
I'm Jennifer.
this is Two in the Closet. We will see you again. We want to thank you for watching us on YouTube, Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on iHeart somewhere, but we can never find it.
Exactly.
Like, comment.
All the above.
Watch.
And if you have any comments or questions.
Two in the closet at Gmail, the number 2. We love fan mail or 8 mail,
or
whatever.
anything.
In that inbox, like you'd spam me and I'll be excited. So
it's gotten to that. No,
is there a Nigerian prince in my inbox? I'm gonna go check it before we record again.
All right. Yeah.
Next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.